Everyone's seen him. I had gotten into a small car crash back in 2003, which resulted me in going to the emergency room in my small town. I didn't see the big fuss the ambulance was making because I felt fine, other than a small cut above my brow, sprained wrist, and a headache. Waste of money if you asked me. But anyway, with the way healthcare was, I sat in the waiting room for a good 7 hours with a bunch of people waiting also. It was about 2:30 a.m. when I was rubbing my neck while watching Hing the shoddy TV the hospital so generously provided, some people talking while some people were sleeping, like what you'd expect in a slow-moving waiting room. Hell, even the security guard was asleep. Anyway, there I was trying to keep my eyes open 'cause I didn't want to miss my name called. Suddenly the front doors opened and a cool breeze rushes in, filling the entire waiting room. I looked at the two front receptionists and I can see suddenly their eyes widened. One stood up quickly and backed off from her chair as if she had seen a ghost. She had. I rear my head up on attention and turned my head towards the door, and so did a few other people. What we seen walk through the front doors was something straight out of a horror movie. A man wearing a off-white button shirt and black pants, but when we really looked at this man, he had no head. Oh my. A receptionist yelled as she ran from the desk as a few other people screamed at the sight of this man. Everyone woke up and even the security guard stood up and ran. Everyone else gasped and screamed as I did the same cause this headless man just casually walked in and stood there. The screams and panic in that small waiting room was deafening as everyone rushed the doors into the south wing. Everyone ran for those doors. He just stood there as everyone glanced at this person while making their fearful escape. More security came as everyone were panicked and screaming amongst themselves. No one could believe what they had just seen. A police officer walks into the panicked crowd and asked us what happened. Everyone at once started talking and honestly, not making any sense. After a few minutes of trying to make sense of it, the officer scoffs at the idea of a headless man standing in the waiting room, but 25 to 30 people said the same thing of what they seen. Even as the officer came back and was skeptical, thinking some kind of mass hysteria had taken place, we all knew what we saw. After an hour or so more officers arrived, and even they couldn't believe what everyone else was saying. The receptionists and security backed up what we seen, and it was only then the officers went into the security room to check the cameras. 20 minutes later, they came out of that room, speechless, quiet, and even a few officers turned white and very much skeptical, trying to pass it off as a prank of some sorts. It turns out, after listening to the officers talking to one another, this person with no head walks into the emergency room, and you can see everyone rushing out in fear. This headless man just stands there for a good 5 minutes and walks back out. How the hell am I supposed to put that in the report? This headless man just walks in and walks back out. Seeing that was very much unbelievable, but what scares me the most, and why I don't go out at night as much, is that there is still a headless man wandering around out there, and I get anxiety of seeing him again. I hope that I don't, cause I'm not even sure if, I don't know, might lose my mind more than I should.